everyone. Welcome again to Leaders Uncut. I am thrilled today to have with us Sam Batters, who is the CEO of Advanced Estimatics with us. Hello, Sam. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I am here. I'm in beautiful weather. It's springtime. Hey, it's heaven, heaven on earth.
It's hard to be unhappy when you have great weather, the sun is shining.
I know it helps. I love this time of the year. Yeah. So, Sam, I really love what you're doing with Advanced Estimatics. You're all about providing accurate damage assessments in seconds. And that's the big thing. It's timing, and you really help protect dealer profits with AI-driven precision, and I'm all about AI and new tech. So, as the CEO of Estimatics, you lead your innovative AI-driven repair assessment platform, and you really transform how dealerships and consumers interact with vehicle damage assessment. So, what inspired the creation of Advanced Estimatics, and how has your vision evolved since its inception?
Beautiful question. Thank you. So it all started with a project to go with our AI team went and they were doing a big kind of efficiency project with a large collision center. And the idea was to find where they are missing billing. And they went in, they did all these different efficiencies and analyzed terabytes worth of data. And my partner was more involved with it, but he was discussing with me what was going on and the learnings that were coming from it. And we just had, hey, I wonder if we could just write some simple prompts and see if we can insert the images and just see what happens with, an estimate that can get generated. And that's where the idea started. And we saw some good success. And we asked the team to productize this. They productized it, and then we went into the marketplace. And what we learned from there was pretty incredible. Building software in a vacuum is never a good idea. You must have customer input. You must have industry experts to give you opinions on what the software is doing and what they need it to do.
Yeah. I can imagine that. Right. But you have a background. I'd love you to talk about your background, because, of course, when people discover a new company, they really want to know, okay, what is your background? What makes you better here? What is your unique selling proposition?
So I'll start with kind of the technology stack that sits behind us and why it's amazing. The technology stack, we are not just in the automotive space. And when I say we, I mean Engage, the technology company who is our parent company, sister company. Either one of those names fits. And they use their proprietary engine, and not to get too technical into it, but it's focused on post-training of whatever LLM that you are wanting to think of, OpenAI, Claude, DeepSeek. And what they're doing is they are essentially creating an LLM from let's just use OpenAI as an example. And they are post-training it on a very specified data set. And there's a lot that goes into that, and we could spend hours talking about this part of the technology. But to show the multi-use and the cross-market kind of, what's the best word? Efficiency and applicability of it. They are in very esteemed and known financial companies. They are in very great biomedical companies. They're in very great medical companies. They are building schools. Imagine as a child, when you're in a classroom and you're too nervous or the teacher just doesn't have time to answer all the questions. Imagine having an AI assistant that is built specifically on your curriculum and you're able to answer these questions. So this is the technology stack that sits behind this, and all of these learnings that happen in between all of these different markets and vertical, they all strengthen each other, and they all, You might find insights from a different industry or how to better structure the technology because you're working on a different project, and you can apply those insights and efficiencies to this other vertical now. And they all just work together, and they're constantly strengthening it. AI software development is they're not teaching this so much in college right now. We are truly sitting at, I like to call us the tip of the spear in making technology breakthroughs. And we're truly sitting at that, and you're living this. You can only learn this in this sector if you're doing it consistently, because it's moving so quickly.
Right.
There's no one in college that's graduating with the insights that our engineers are learning every single day. And that's just kind of the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
And so now that we have this amazing team behind us, that's the technology aspect of it. You're not going further into this. You're not going, just the other day, the CEO of the tech company and myself, Calvin Gee and myself, went to one of our customers in Village Ford, and we spit Village Ford out of Detroit. They are, I would say, the premier Ford dealership. They've been there almost since Ford OEM was created. The headquarters of Ford is right down the road. Everyone knows who they are. They have just an amazing operation there. Bob Wheat is the one who got us there. He's an amazing guy as well. But Calvin and I went into the store, and we met with the entire collision store, and we just took notes. We video recorded everything, and we were really understanding the industry. And at this point, I just knew, like, there's no one out there that's going to be able to compete with us, because nobody wants to not only have this advanced technology, but nobody wants to now go into the industry and hear from the customers and learn from the industry and understand why things are working the way they do, why estimates look this way, how insurance companies affect the estimates, how the P tables, P tables, I believe what they're called, they're essentially all of these different collision terminology. There's so much variability.
Yeah.
There's so many variables that go into what consists of an estimate. And most of them are, I don't want to say they're easily modeled, but most of them can be modeled, especially if you model them and then build them off historical data. Yeah. And so that's why we're doing things so much differently than anybody else. I understand.
It's very complex, of course, because also you have within your platform, within your system and your solution, you have a lot of various partners. I don't know if you call them partners, but different industry sectors that are linked to your assessment, to your AI assessment. Now, I would imagine a lot of people, of course, they start to understand AI, but they still don't trust AI very much. So how can you guarantee the accuracy of any type of estimates, especially when it's done so fast?
We just have to show them. We have to show them how it works. And right now, where we generate line item detail, or we generate broad line item detail, and over 90%, we have a low, medium, high range, and we are getting the dollar amounts within that low, medium, high range very consistently, over 90%, consistently over new vehicles, older vehicles. We're consistently getting there. And going back to learning, listening to the market and making the necessary changes, is we now need to get down to the line item detail. We want to, if you go to CCC or you go to any of these collision center kind of software systems and how the estimates are built out, you have to have that North Star of that estimate, and that is where we want to go. We want to have the line item detail, and so to answer your question, you got to show them, and they've got to build trust in it.
That's what it is. That's what it is, because it's really about balancing innovation with accuracy and compliance, because you are in a highly regulated industry.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. That's quite something. I mean, it's like I said, AI is bringing definitely new innovation that's going to save time. That's going to increase accuracy. So do humans still have a place here in your environment? Or is everything going to be done by machines? I mean, how do you foresee the future?
So estimators in this business, and it depends on who you talk to, my understanding and the people that I've spoke to who have been in this business for years and years, estimators are an extremely valuable asset to the dealership and to the body shop.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have 10 years of experience. They have to show credibility within the body shop. And simply put, estimating is not a revenue generating activity within a collision center. It's a very necessary and must be done, but it's not revenue generating.
Yeah.
Revenue generating activities within collision centers, and we can move towards other aspects of the dealership and how we're affecting this later, but we're talking about collision centers now. Revenue generating activities within a collision center are personal relationships with the customer, a salesperson who can close the customer, ensure the customer is going to do business there, negotiating with the insurance companies, and ultimately revenue generating activities in the back of a collision center is fixing vehicles. Estimating is a must do. You have to have it. But it's not revenue generating. You don't make money off generating an estimate. You make money off of fixing the vehicle. You make money off of getting the parts. And that's where the dealerships need to be spending their time, is how can we, without increasing personnel, without taking on extra capital, without making our collision center bigger, how can we fix vehicles faster? How can we fix more vehicles? How can we reduce our costs? How can we get parts on order faster? And ultimately, how can we get cars in and out of our body shop faster in a smaller time frame window? And that's where, I mean, if you have 4 estimators, these guys are capable. They're very smart. They are very trustworthy. They have to be in order to be in that position. They can now move to other parts of the collision center where they're just as effective, where they're just as capable, and where they are adding more value to the collision center. We're not removing, we're not replacing humans with technology. We're enhancing humans with technology.
Is your marketing making an impact? Are you reaching the right audience? Is your messaging truly connecting? Are you maximizing your return on investment? At Slice Marketing, we use AI-powered insights to fine-tune your targeting, optimize your messaging, design high-converting websites, and craft content that inspires, entertains, and educates, or to amplify your brand's impact. Sometimes a small adjustment can create big results. Let's chat, no strings attached. Email us at catherine.oaks@slicemarketing.com or visit our website. And that is important to mention because, of course, dealerships, they are looking always at optimizing productivity, at saving money so that they can run smoother. They can offer also probably better pricing because everything is linked here. So you always say it's now not B2C, B2B. It's really also H to H. It's human to human. I think that's will become more and more prevalent and more critical within any type of business, because at the end of the day, what customers want is a great service, is a great relationship with someone that they can relate to and they can relate with. And of course, AI is just a tool. So I think it's really going to be finding a balance for anyone on how to utilize technology while still maintaining that human side of their business. So are you seeing any challenge in companies, in dealerships adopting that new model? And if so, what is it that you are faced with the most when you present everything you do?
We really aren't, because at the end of the day, somebody has to present this estimate to the customer.
Yeah.
There's still customer to customer interaction. Nobody wants to go get, everyone's car is their baby. Everybody wants their car taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is going to show up, and let's just talk in a purely fictional manner. of where some of these AI doomers go. I mean, let's just imagine AI replaces humans.
Yeah.
In this very specific instance, your baby has been damaged. You drive into a room, like a white room, a collision bay. You close the doors, the images are taken, and an estimate's just printed off. And you're just looking at the estimate. And then a screen pops up. Do you have any questions? Yes or no? Nobody wants that. The mechanics, the technicians are behind a wall. There's no interaction. Nobody wants that. And so my point is that there's still a human to human connection. No matter what AI is doing, there still has to be a human to human connection for the person to feel comfortable taking, when I give you my car, am I being taken care of?
Yeah.
Well, are you going to fix my car? Will you answer my questions if I have questions? So we really aren't seeing hesitancy with the market wanting to replace this.
Yeah.
You have your laggards, and you have some people that say, the customer wants to, they don't want AI giving them estimates, and they're just thinking about it incorrectly. The customer doesn't know how the estimate's built. The customer doesn't, it might as well be a different language. It might as well be a completely different concept. You have a sheet of paper and somebody is explaining to you what's happening here, whether the human writes it and spends hours doing it, or whether an AI engine is writing it. At the end of the day, it's still a very unknown value for the customer who's involved with this. And it's taking a human to explain it to them.
And you are right. I mean, it's a process, just like the internet. I think lots of people took their time to implement the internet, to use it the way it was supposed to be used. And I think the same is happening with AI. But believe me, I'm challenging you here because this is what I do. I challenge people, but I'm a big proponent of new tech, of AI, because people are going to have to embrace that. It will be beneficial if it's used properly. And like you say, as long as there is a human side of the business that remains there, and if the balance is okay, they will gain market shares. They were going to grab. I think we're going to see a lot of leaders or leaderships become more efficient, therefore grabbing more market shares, because they are the innovators, because they understand how to use technology better than others. And I talk about this all the time. I think the companies that are now able to integrate technologies properly within their systems now better than others are going to be the winners.
Absolutely. And we see that as well.
Yeah, you see that as well, for sure. So we see now robots happening everywhere. I always imagine having a robot next to me cleaning up my house and walking my dog so that I can go on the beach and relax. I'm like, yay, that sounds great. And I think for many people are thinking that's never going to happen. It will happen in 10 years, 20 years from now. I don't have to worry about it. But what I have experienced and learned, because I'm interviewing people all the time, is all of this seems to happen a lot faster than we are used to. I mean, now we have to think about how integrate potentially robotics a lot more in our operations. Is that something that you take into consideration as you develop your plans going forward with your AI platform?
I'm sorry, I'm not really sure I understand the question.
So the question is that in addition to AI tools, we're going to have probably also companies will be also integrating real robots, humanoid robots within their solutions. I mean, what do you think about that?
Robotics replacing humans. I don't know. I mean, how do we stop a train that's coming down the road? I mean, coming down the tracks. I don't really know how I feel about it. It's a very philosophical question, I believe.
Yeah.
I think humanity in general always perseveres, and there's an element to humanity that AI and robotics will never be able to replace. And I think that goes into the creativity, into the soul of the human, being able to, I think even to this day, AI is not coming up with inventions. Now that might change in the future, but it takes a very non-linear way of thinking, and it takes a creativity, and it takes a very strong technical understanding of problems to come up with actual inventions. And I don't know if that will ever be taken away from humanity. And how do we cope when, let's just say, we go into this massive world of robotics? How do we cope with that? We have to come together, and we need leaders that are out there leading us to cope with this new change. And I wish I had all the answers.
And we all do, but I think it's something to always think about, especially with you. And I think that's a great segue to my next question with you, because you have young children, you have very young children, and you know your children are going to live in a very different world from what we know right now. It will be a world that's a lot more automated, where maybe cities will be all automated. Maybe there will be, instead of driving cars, there will be flying cars everywhere. So all of this is going to change dramatically. So as a father, as a parent, I'm sure you have great stories of resilience also as a CEO of a company that's very innovative. I mean, you have a lot going on in your life. So I ask my guests at the end of our conversation all the time, what is the best or not the best? What is one story of resilience that you could share with my audience and the lessons you have learned from it?
A great question, and it's completely applicable to my time right now. Everyone goes through hardships, and everyone has past hardships. And starting a business that is this complex, and from idea to essentially getting account receivables, it is very hard and very stressful, no matter how ready the market is wanting this piece of technology, which is in our case. This is not a hard sell for us, but there's still lots of mechanics and relationships that have to be built, and lots of stress that goes into, and lots of risk that goes into starting a business from the ground up, which is what we are doing here. And having a 1-year-old, she's like 14 months. Yeah, she's 14 months. And then I have another baby boy coming in June. And there have been battles and struggles of, I want to say neglecting, but not nurturing, watering the flower bed within the family. And those cause strains in the relationship with the family, and you being a good father and a good husband, you don't want those things. So you're constantly having to readjust. Yeah. And so that is what I would say is the best resilience story, is not only leading this company and leading the vision and developing the technology, but also ultimately, which is more important than anything else, is being a good husband and being a good father and staying in tune with your family and raising a child who doesn't just see you working all the time. It's spending those little moments here and there of just having her walk to you for every now and then. And when I'm in a meeting, I don't ever try to be embarrassed or hide that I have kids. I work from home most of the time, and so I'll be in a meeting, and a lot of times my daughter wants to come and be a part of the meeting. And I, from the beginning, have been like, I will never be embarrassed of having my daughter come and sit in my lap, no matter who I'm with. And not surprisingly, but everyone loves it. You would think a lot of people would want to hide and keep their kids away. And I get it and I understand, but I've never had a single person have a negative reaction or a negative outlook, because my daughter, on a meeting like this, my daughter would come and sit in my lap and want to be a part of, and she starts babbling. So yeah, it's been great. But yes, staying strong in the family, being the leader of the family, loving my wife and my children, while also being a leader of a very new and innovative piece of technology has been a very hard thing to do, but ultimately it's what you want to do. So
yeah, and it is beautiful, and I have to congratulate for that, because at the end of the day, you have to be human, and it's normal. Lots of people work from home. A lot of people have children. It's okay. It's a beautiful thing to show that you're a great father, that you are here for your kids. My God. And then on top of that, you are building a company that is very innovative. frankly, when I see someone like that, it creates trust right away and admiration right away. Because first of all, you're not ashamed of being who you are. You are a young father of young children, and you are there for them while building a company. Wow, who would not admire someone like that? Anybody would, anybody that is normal anyway. I mean, you have so many crazies out there, but anybody who's normal is going to admire that and respect that. So I applaud you from that. I know it's hard, but because I did it myself. And I had a daughter, and I had to work 7 days a week, and I had to be there for everything. But you think sometimes it seems to be an overwhelming task, but it is not. We always find a way. Somehow,
Yeah.
we always find a way to make it work, and you just have to do all you can do. But also think about yourself along the way, because you also have to be taking care of yourself. And that's an important thing that I think I could have done better. Is I always gave everything I had to everybody else, but I was not catering to myself and my own needs, because you have to be here for the long term. You have to cater to yourself and spend time for yourself. It's very important, and your family has to understand that. So that's something to always keep in mind. You
Of
have a
course.
lot to do, but take care of you, your soul, your body, your mind.
Absolutely. And it can actually affect your ability to be a mother too, if
Yeah,
you are only if you're only giving and giving and giving and never taking care of yourself.
yeah,
So it can be counterproductive to what you're ultimately trying to achieve
exactly.
of being a great mother. And if you aren't taking some time to take care of yourself, it can affect your ability to be a good mother. So yes, you have to take care of yourself.
You have to remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yep.
And those who make it, they understand that. And they find the right balance so that they can last. Because we are not robots, and we have a human side that needs to be catered to, that is led by our soul. And all of that is important and has to be within the picture, so that we can actually last a long time and reach our goals. And I have no worries about you. I'm sure you will.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much, Sam. It was wonderful. Thank you for talking about your company, your initiatives, your life, and how hard you're working at creating something that is so innovative that will definitely improve a lot of leadership's productivity, also profitability, because in the long term, this is what they will benefit from, and also create a new realm of customer service, because I really believe when it's done right, it will improve customer service, and it will attract a lot more people to their dealership, to their companies. So I thank you for doing that, for having the courage to launch this company. I know it is very hard to be an entrepreneur, but it is really the bloodline of the world, and it's the bloodline of this country for sure.
Thank you so much, Catherine. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Please share this video on your networks. It's important to share all these innovative companies that are launching game-changing and life-changing solutions that will definitely be implemented at some point everywhere. So please share this story and help Samuel get exposure. This is what I'm doing here. I created this to provide exposure to new companies, to innovators, to entrepreneurs, because they are critical in the evolution of our society, also the upgrading of our life and our lifestyle. So thank you for sharing. I would appreciate also if you would subscribe to my channel. I could not keep doing this if I did not have your support. So thank you for that. And I wish you great week, whatever and whenever you are watching this. And we will see you next time.